wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Start off with some quick sports. Now, last night in Thursday Night Football, the Lions beat the Packers 34-31. Now, good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes. So how y'all feeling today? Happy Friday.
Blessed, black, and highly favored.
Good. How you feeling?
Love to hear it. Yeah, I'm doing good. You know what I'm saying? But, let's get into this news because it has a lot has happened. A lot has developed since we learned what we learned yesterday. So more info is being released regarding the suspect accused of shooting and killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside of a hotel in New York on Wednesday. Now, CNN is reporting they traveled by Greyhound bus from Atlanta to New York before the shooting, with the company saying they are fully cooperating with authorities in that investigation. Now, police also believe the suspect arrived in New York 10 days prior to the shooting, checked into a hostel with a fake New Jersey driver's license, and earlier in the day, police released more surveillance video of the person, much clearer than previously released surveillance video to show the suspect's face. Now, meanwhile, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, he seems confident that an arrest will be made soon in connection with that murder. Let's hear more from New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
We are on the right pathway. We feel that we're moving at a steady pace, and we're going to have someone apprehended. We don't believe this is a random act of violence. We believe that this was clearly a targeted shooting. And in all of my years of law enforcement, I have never seen a silencer before. And so that was really something that was shocking to us all.
So investigators, could be close to identifying a suspect. ABC News is reporting that investigators have sought a search warrant for a place in New York City they believe the suspect may have been staying. Meanwhile, a report out of the New York Post, again, that we mentioned yesterday, shows that the bullets used in the murder had the words deny, depose, and defend engraved on them. They are suspected to possibly reference the 2010 book, Delay, Deny, Defend, Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It. Of course, Thompson, he passed away after being shot multiple times outside that Hilton hotel.
That story of Brian Thompson also shows me, at least social media-wise, how cruel and inhumane people are. Because there's folks online saying things like, he deserved that because of how many people have been denied and died because of the healthcare system. All of that may be true, but I don't know what that has to do with that man getting gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Like, I don't celebrate or make light of anything I wouldn't want to happen to me or anybody I love. And believe you me, that could happen to any of us. Yeah,
not at all. And you see what other health companies are doing. They're actually taking the executives' pictures down the website so people can't see what they look like. But, one thing that I did see that, at first people thought he was, I don't want to say a lot smarter, but they thought he was a lot smarter with what he was doing. But they said they got the picture of his face because in the hostel, I guess a girl was in there, was like, well, let me see your smile. Take off your mask. And when he took off the mask to smile, that's where that picture came from.
He did have nice teeth. And the only reason I realized he had nice teeth is because people in the comments were saying he had nice teeth. And so I went back to look at the actual picture. Because then I was a little bit confused, too, because the picture did look like two different people. One picture looked like a man. Another picture looked like a woman. So I was a little bit confused. So I was looking like, who is this person? And, in my mind, the way my anxiety works, I'm looking at the picture just in case this dude may still be roaming around New York.
Yeah, he's roaming around.
You know what I'm saying? But we have no idea why Brian Thompson got killed. We don't know what the motive is, but just know that could be you at any given time in this world we live in. So be mindful of how you speak on situations like this.
Absolutely. As you're talking about, the motive and you're talking about the healthcare system, of course, people are sounding off on social media with all different kinds of conspiracy theories as to why it happened. Now, it, of course, was reported, we talked about what was etched in those casings or the shell casings. Now, University of Miami Dr. Steve Ullman, now he says this comes at no surprise because people are fed up with paying high premiums and being denied basic care. Let's hear more from University of Miami Dr. Ullman.
The realization is that people's anger is potentially not toward the individual, but toward the system. And basically, this individual who was murdered was working within the system. So you really have to look at the system that we have adopted in the United States, which is a market-based system. You have a company that's owned by stockholders who demand that they get returns on their investments. So that's one of the pressures that comes on a for-profit insurance company such as United.
Yeah, so he went on to-
Killing Brian Thompson and anybody who works at these healthcare systems, that's not going to make the prices low.
Nah, it doesn't. But the healthcare system need to do something, because the way that people can't get the proper health care, the way that they things that have to get approved for care when it comes to cancer care,
Absolutely.
when it comes to all those things, is very difficult. And people are dying because they can't get health care. They're not getting approved, or they can't afford it.
And if you're dying, what do you feel like you got to lose at that point?
Or if somebody you love has died.
That's right.
But once again, that's still not going to change anything. That's not going. It's not going to really make you feel better at the end of the day, taking somebody's life like that.
So Dr. Ullman, he went on to say that the U.S. does have the most expensive healthcare system in the world, without the option of universal care, leaving some 28 million people with no coverage at all. So that further speaks to the point that you were making, Envy and Charlamagne. Looks like we're running out of time. Yes, see, no?
I will say this, though. I would encourage, anybody out there who knows something about this situation, you should say something. Because, a person that can do something like that to Brian Thompson in the middle of Manhattan would do that to anybody.
Well, that's your front page news at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., where, we'll touch base with what's going on in California. Earthquake hit yesterday, so we'll talk more about that.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, last night, the Detroit Lions beat the Packers 34-31. The Lions' record is 12-1. So, shout out to Detroit. What up, Doe?
Detroit, y'all look really good. If y'all don't win the Super Bowl this year, I think that's going to be one of the biggest fumbles in NFL history.
So, are you saying that you don't think the Cowboys are going to get anywhere close now?
No, we still in the hunt.
Yo, shut up, man.
We are in the hunt.
Morgan, good morning.
We're in
Good
the
morning.
hunt.
What he's saying is he understands what fumbling looks like. That's what he's saying.
Got you. What's up, Morgan?
All right, y'all, let's get into it. So California Governor Gavin Newsom, he has declared a state of emergency yesterday in Northern California in case of reported damage following a magnitude 7 earthquake in the Pacific near the border with Oregon. Let's hear more from Gavin Newsom on that natural disaster.
Signed off on a state of emergency, a declaration that will allow us to provide more resources, provide some of our National Guard resources as needed, access to state fairgrounds, waiving some contractual obligations for that part of the state. It's another reminder of the state that we live in and the state of mind that we need to bring to our day-to-day reality here in the state of California in terms of being prepared for earthquakes.
So there was a tsunami warning that was canceled as part of the protocol for any earthquake along the west coast above a magnitude 5. Now, the quake hit near the California-Oregon state line. Shaking could be felt in San Francisco, Oakland, and the Alameda. Meanwhile, speaking at the event at the border in San Diego, Newsom also talked about immigration, deportation, and tariffs. Now, while local law enforcement out of California in the state won't help with potential federal deportations, California will also not interfere. Now, Newsom says deportations would have an economic impact on California, including the construction and agricultural industries. He says he also opposes tariffs against Mexico, saying if they go in effect, the people in the state who voted for Trump will be the ones hurt, adding it goes against the USMCA trade pact that was signed during the first Trump administration. Let's hear Newsom on deportation and tariffs.
Approach has been consistent. We don't interfere with federal right to advance federal laws with federal resources. California's posture remains. We do not interfere in the federal government's right to enforce federal law using federal resources. We care about border security, but we also care about economic security, and we care about two-way trade, and we care about our partners on the other side of this border that have well-established partnerships.
So this comes as President-elect Trump is called for 25% tariffs against Mexico. He also said possibly Canada as well, and unless more is done to secure the border. Now, the Governor Newsom went on to say that he is sending National Guard troops to the border to help with the flow of drugs and guns, and they will be working under an agreement between Mexico and the State Department. Now, elsewhere in news, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says any decision on interest rates this month will not factor in President-elect Trump's plans to raise tariffs and restrict immigration. Now, while some experts say Trump's plans will raise inflation, Powell stressed that he doesn't know the details of those plans and he can't make policy based on limited info. It sounds like he doesn't know a lot, so let's hear more from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell.
We can't really start making policy on that at this time. That is something that lies well into the future. We have to let this play out. Here's what we don't know about tariffs. We don't know how big they'll be. We don't know their timing and their duration. We don't know what goods will be tariffed. We don't know what countries' goods will be tariffed. We don't know how that will play into prices. What will be the transmission into prices? We don't know how people in the markets and in the economy will react to that. And we don't know whether other countries will retaliate.
Yeah, so most economists expect the Fed to lower interest rates by 0.25% this month now that inflation has eased a bit. Now, what do you guys think about that?
I think that every economist that I've spoken to says that those tariffs are going to have the price of everything through the damn roof.
Oh, yeah.
And, for everybody who voted for Donald Trump because they said it was the economy, man, you think about it. After he gets sworn in January, if everything goes up after that, those same people who voted for him are going to flip on him.
Yeah, and people have been saying, I mean, when they get those tariffs, they have to pass it on to everybody else. So whatever those tariffs are, it's going to be we're going to be paying for them.
And in case people don't understand what that means, like girlies, when we want to get our Shein and our Temu and our Fashion Nova hauls, they come from overseas. So expect that those prices will be a lot higher, when you look, and it's not going to be the same.
But not only that. I mean, because if he's putting tariffs on from all of these different countries, it's going to be a bunch of different products.
Oh, no, for sure. I'm just saying, recognize how it looks. In other words, girlies, get your hauls in now before January 20th. If you want to go shopping for something, probably do it before January 20th is what I'm getting at. Speaking of which, let's talk, as we're on the topic of Trump. His assassination attempt is leading to heated exchanges on Capitol Hill. Republican Congressman Pat Fallon of Texas questioned Secret Service Secret Service Acting Director Ronald Rowe about why he was positioning himself behind President Biden at a recent September 11th service in New York. And in questioning, in that line of questioning, he pretty much was asking that the stack of detail, which means the lead security, asking how does that person position themselves when they are with a president or someone acting as a president, as Trump was that day in Butler, Pennsylvania, when he had his assassination attempt. Now let's hear from the Republican Congressman Pat Fallon questioning Secret Service Agent Director Ronald Rowe and what that sounded like on Capitol Hill yesterday.
Congressman, what you're not seeing is the stack of the detail out of the picture's view. And that is the day where we remember the more than 3,000 people that have died on 9/11. I actually responded to Ground Zero. I was there going through the ashes of the World Trade Center. I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you,
Congressman,
were you the special agent in charge?
To show respect
You were not.
for a Secret Service member that died on 9/11.
Oh, that you're trying to be.
Do not invoke 9/11 for political purposes.
Oh, I'm not. I'm invoking this.
You are, sir.
Gentlemen,
and you are out of line.
That sounds like WWE.
Man, it got heated real quick, real fast, right? So basically, he was supposed to be answering a question as to why are you positioning yourself behind a president, and instead he basically was like, that picture that you're holding up, that was us at a 9/11 event, and I know you're not bringing up 9/11, and I was actually there, and so he kind of diverted. So, but anyways, the Secret Service has admitted to several failures in the handling of Trump's protection at that rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th, when a gunman opened fire. One audience member was killed, and Trump and two others were wounded. Of course, in the House hearing, Rowe told lawmakers the discipline of employees who were at fault is still occurring with due process. He is also he also said Secret Service failed to secure the rally site, but he wasn't taking that. He's like, listen, I was at 9/11. That must have triggered him. So I don't know.
Yeah, Secret Service can't do nothing but take the L about that day. I mean, I don't even know why they defending that. Like, there's nothing you can defend. A former president, now about to be president-elect again, almost got killed.
Yep.
You got to take the L. There's nothing you can do to defend that situation.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. That's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Follow me on social at Morgan Media. And for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at binnews.com. I'm on vacation next week. I'm going to miss y'all.
Morgan, enjoy your vacay.
All right, Morgan.
Thank you.
Wake that ass up
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.